Welcome to the White Knight Theater. OJ was present at the first crime scene before and after the incident, and he left bloodstains there. The probability of this event is infinitely close to 100%. What did Simpson call Nicole when she was pregnant? I used to call Nicole a flying pig. The J-Star murder case is about to officially go to trial. This episode will focus on the prosecution's meticulously designed opening statement. To what extent will the jury be moved by Simpson's complete statement that he is not the murderer? Do not cross this line. Everyone please stand. Court is now in session. Please bring Judge Lance Ito to the bench. Counsel and spectators, please be seated. I am the presiding judge, Lance Ito. Please bring in the jury. On January 24th, 1995, the Simpson case officially began. Since the final jury list had a very high proportion of African Americans, the prosecution was at an absolute disadvantage from the start. To make matters worse, according to the results of several mock trials, most African American women did not like Marcia, thinking that her appearance was too elitist. In order to win the support of the majority of African American women on the jury, the prosecution decided at the last minute to let African American prosecutor Darden replace Marcia to give the opening statement. Darden, 38, is a colleague of Marcia and one of the most promising assistant prosecutors in the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office. He is ambitious but speaks softly. Before officially joining the prosecution team in the Simpson case, Darden was in charge of the grand jury investigation against A.C. Cullens, deciding whether Simpson's friend committed a crime when he drove the white Mustang away from the residence. In the subsequent trial phase, the media constantly criticized Darden's stance, accusing him of betraying his race or allowing his African American identity to interfere with his legal performance in court. We have all seen Simpson hold the Heisman Trophy, the highest honor for American college football players, and we often see him in movies and advertisements. We thought we knew him well, but what we knew was just a public image. Like many public figures, Simpson has a side that is unknown to the public. He is a domestic abuser and a murderer. The defense will surely tell you that Simpson had no motive to kill Nicole because they signed a divorce agreement on October 15, 1992. After that, Simpson had a girlfriend he was dating. However, in reality, Simpson continued to control and stalk Nicole long after the divorce, just 7 months before the incident. On the evening of October 25, 1993, Simpson once went to Nicole's house to smash the door because he misunderstood from gossip reports that Nicole was dating a popular young football player. He tried to force his way in. In the end, Nicole had to call 911 twice for help. Therefore, Simpson had a clear motive for murdering Nicole, which was jealousy. On June 12, 1994, the day of the murder, after attending his youngest daughter's dance performance, Simpson suddenly learned that Nicole had canceled a plan to go to Simpson's eldest son's restaurant for dinner together. Instead, she chose an Italian restaurant and did not invite Simpson. This was the last straw. This incident provoked him. He felt abandoned and, after losing control of his emotions, decided to go to Nicole's house to commit violence, ultimately taking Nicole's life. Goldman was just in the wrong place at the wrong time and also met with misfortune. Summarizing this ruthless killing, we have reached the following conclusions through DNA evidence. Bloodstains found in Simpson's home match Simpson. A bloodied right-hand glove found in Simpson's home matches Simpson. Bloodstains found at the Bundy Drive crime scene match Simpson. Bloodstains found in Simpson's Mustang match a mixture of blood from Simpson, victim Nicole, and Goldman. All evidence points to the same answer. O.J. Simpson is the murderer of Nicole and Goldman. In his opening statement, Prosecutor Darden pointed out the motive for O.J. Simpson's murder, citing his history of domestic violence and trying to use this to win sympathy from the female jurors for the victim, Nicole. In fact, even before the trial began, both the prosecution and the defense had engaged in several rounds of fierce negotiations over Simpson's history of domestic violence. To avoid the negative impact of domestic violence on the case, the defense team proposed a motion to exclude all 62 domestic violence charges. The defense emphasized that this trial is about a murder case, not a domestic violence case, nor an investigation into Simpson's personal moral character. Therefore, All evidence related to domestic violence charges is irrelevant to this case. However, this motion was rejected by Judge Lance Ito. Judge Ito believed that domestic violence might be one of the main motives for this case. After the trial began, the prosecution seized this opportunity and focused on Simpson's motive for murder and his history of domestic violence first. Chief Prosecutor Marcia Clark called a bank manager to the stand and took out a will that Nicole had stored in the bank's safe deposit box. At the beginning of the will, Nicole clearly wrote, "This is my will in case I die." The will was dated September 30th, 1990. Can you describe in detail how the photos flew off the walls? At that time, OJ ran down the hallway, very angrily took the photos off the wall, and threw them on the ground. What did Simpson say at that time? OJ told Nicole to get out of his house and forcefully pushed Nicole against the wall. His eyes were full of anger. I could hardly recognize the person in front of me as OJ. What did Simpson call Nicole when she was pregnant? He called Nicole a flying pig. As Denise Brown recounted the events, Marcia Clark was constantly observing the jury members' reactions. At this moment, the extremely humiliating word "fat pig" seemed to have touched the jurors. Several female jurors frowned and showed expressions of discomfort. Seeing this, Marcia decided to dig deeper into the events of the day of the incident. Ms. Brown, take your memory back to June 12, 1994. What happened after the performance that afternoon? We were planning to have dinner. Nicole, me, and some other family members. Where were you planning to go for dinner? We were originally going to go to Jason's restaurant, but Nicole suddenly canceled the plan and took us to an Italian restaurant called Half Moon. Did Nicole invite Simpson to go to Half Moon restaurant? No. Did anyone else invite Simpson to go to the restaurant? No. Why did Nicole change the plan at the last minute? Nicole was a bit scared that day. She didn't want to have any contact with him anymore. OJ was particularly gloomy that day and ignored us the whole time. I asked Nicole what happened again. She didn't say. Thank you, Ms. Brown. Abusers always blame the victims, finding excuses for their own violence. On that particular evening, everything happened in the blink of an eye. Simpson went to see his daughter's performance. After the show ended, he learned that Nicole had suddenly canceled the original plan and changed it to a dinner at Half Moon Restaurant without inviting Simpson. Later that evening, Simpson tried to contact his girlfriend Paula, but received no response. That was Simpson's last hope. He was abandoned by Nicole and then by Paula, and that's why we stand here today. Marcia's questioning ended, and the jurors had mixed reactions. Some of them, especially the men, believed that the minor details recounted by the victim's sister could not directly link to the murder that occurred that night. Another group was moved by Denise Brown's words. This group, mostly women, gave O.J. Simpson a rather sympathetic look. Balancing this was the race card formerly played by Johnny. Under the full live broadcast of the cable TV station, American viewers saw the most familiar image of Simpson. The handsome, kind, and smiling O.J. Simpson. In the United States, suspects can decide what to wear when they appear in court. For this trial, Simpson was well dressed in a tailored dark blue suit with a colorful striped tie, standing in front of a live camera surrounded by his lawyers. Dr. Lee Chong-yu and Sam, who had returned to Connecticut for their regular work, watched part of the live broadcast of the trial while waiting for their meal at a restaurant. Dr. Lee, I think this is unfair. What do you mean? Didn't you see? Just now in court, O.J. and the lawyers, in order to win favor, all wore those brightly colored, patterned, and strongly contrasting ties.